Who would have thought that the Tron price sees such a pump and dump? Let's have a look at what's behind TRX, who's buying here, who's selling here. Let's try to figure out where we might continue from here. Because this is not the first video on Tron on this channel. The last one was published 24 days ago and it got 2.3 times more views than the average video. In other words, there is a lot of retail interest in TRX. And on the face of it, it does look like Tron is a major player in crypto. When we look at the total value locked of decentralized finance across different chains, of course Ethereum is the largest of the blockchains, but Tron has almost the same size as Solana. Now, isn't this odd? Everybody talks about Solana. Solana has all of those token launches. Everyone trades on Solana. We rarely hear about Tron. Have a look at the trading volume on the Tron blockchain in the last 24 hours. It's 9.1 million. How does that compare to Solana, which has a similar total value locked? Here's the answer. It's 3.4 billion. Solana has 376 times the trading volume of Tron, while apparently there is similar amounts of capital on both chains. What's going on here? Now, it all depends on what kind of data we look at. This is the Tron Scan Explorer and it shows the number of accounts, which is constantly growing and it's almost at 300 million now. I have a look at the number of holders of the TRX token. That's now at 162 million, roughly. I have a look at the total value locked, right? How much capital is bound in the Tron blockchain. We do have our volatility, but it seems like there is growth. Here's the same chart with a bit more history. Again, Tron seems to be growing. But is it really? What we've got over here is the number of new accounts. That does not necessarily grow for the last 3 years. Well, here's the number of active accounts. Also, not necessarily any growth. Here's the number of transactions. Yes, this is growing. There is a lot of volatility as well. How much of this is artificial? How much of this is organic? Who knows? We've already compared trading volumes on chain. Now, when we look closer at this total value locked chart, right? When we look at how much capital is currently on Tron, there is this one data point that's a bit confusing. How did the total value locked on the chain move from 8 billion to 14 billion in a matter of a few days to then come back down again? The answer might lie in the TRX price. We had a massive pump and dump. Some people say that this was a short squeeze. A lot of people being bearish on Tron, questioning the legitimacy of the blockchain and of its assets. And so when there's a lot of shorts, there's also a potential for market manipulators to squeeze those shorts, to get money from those shorts. Once the short positions are liquidated, then the price comes back down again. And so that then explains why the total value locked peaked quickly. It's not usage of the platforms of decentralized finance on Tron. It's all just price manipulation of the native token. Because when we look at the total value locked on Tron measured in TRX tokens, this trend looks very different. So this is again in US dollars, but here's the same chart measured in Tron. The DeFi ecosystem of Tron tends to rather shrink. It's not expanding, it's getting even smaller. And so TRX can still hold pace with Bitcoin. This is the long-term TRX chart relative to BTC. And it seems like we're in somewhat of a sidewards trading range. Sometimes we are above, sometimes we are below. Currently, we are somewhere in the middle. The potential upside might be 50%. The potential downside might be 50% as well. Here's a different chart. This is the Tron dominance. In the very best of cases, Tron might outperform the rest of crypto by 130%. In the worst of cases, it might go down by 70%. But again, all of those trading ranges only make sense if Tron never implodes. Will it implode at some point? Who knows? There is Huobi, there is HTX, there is potentially Tether itself involved with Tron, and so they probably want to keep this alive for as long as possible. Shorting Tron is very dangerous. Buying Tron is very dangerous as well. It's all manipulation. Now, crypto as a whole is currently expanding very, very quickly. What we've got behind me is the stablecoin CoinMarketCap. And this is a 3-year chart, so it starts in July 2021. And we peaked in the stablecoin market cap in April of 2022. Over here what happened was the Terra Luna collapse. So this is when Anchor Protocol went bust. This is when UST depegged. The market as a whole shrunk, money was flowing out of crypto, and this is also where FTX collapsed. And then we saw the turnaround in October of last year. Now money is flowing into crypto again, and that's recently accelerating. The stablecoin market cap going up means, of course, that money is flowing from fiat into crypto, and that of course means that prices across all of the crypto space should continue to rise. I really like this chart because it has very little volatility. We can see the trend very clearly. In the short term though, we might be slightly heated. What we've got over here is again a stablecoin market cap chart, but this time that's not in US dollars. This time it's relative to the entire crypto market. So you might have heard of the Bitcoin dominance chart, right? How much of all of crypto is currently in Bitcoin? That's, by the way, currently at roughly 60%. It tends to peak at around 70%. What we see over here is the stablecoin dominance. So how much of all of crypto is currently in the stablecoins? And there is a strong inverse correlation between this and crypto prices. So when the stablecoin dominance is high, crypto prices are low. And when the stablecoin dominance is low, crypto prices are high. And we seem like, at least temporarily, to hit some potential floor here, which might mean that some cryptocurrencies might see local tops. That being said, especially in the last few days, we do see how the altcoins tend to outperform the rest of crypto. So this is the others dominance. So this is the cryptocurrency market cap that's not in the top 10. And this did go up since beginning of November to today by 23%. It appears as if there is some kind of altcoin rotation happening. At least we see the beginnings of it. And so what was the best performer across all of the altcoins in the last week? It's Virtual Protocol. Virtual is a launchpad of AI agents on the base chain, and it almost tripled in the last week. This is the long-term chart, very impressive. And the big question is, how can we buy something like Virtual when it's not up there, but when it's somewhere down here? My answer to this question is wallet tracking. It's trying to figure out what are other smart investors doing? What are insiders doing? What are people doing that move prices? What are people doing that tended to make the right calls in the past? And so it's always nice to see what is the smart money doing, what is the not so smart money doing. For example, this over here. This is an alert that BitBoy Crypto sold virtual tokens at 1.4 cents. We don't have the alerts where he bought this, so maybe he got some allocation because he's an influencer, but he sold his allocation. He did this multiple times, by the way. And again, what he sold subsequently went up by more than 10,000%. And so yeah, BitBoy Crypto, in my opinion, is pretty much the Jim Cramer of crypto. It doesn't make sense to copy trade him, but it's interesting to see what he's doing. There are other people though that are worth copy trading. For example, over here, we've got Crypto Gains that bought the virtual token. That was at 5.8 cents. So since then, the price went up by 2,500%. Who is Crypto Gains? It's this influencer here. He tends to buy tokens relatively early, and he tends to also be very public about his purchases, which can generate, of course, a lot of attention and can bring in more investors, pushing up the price further. So he does very risky plays regularly. He's got 138,000 subscribers. And so how do we get these buy and sell signals? It's through finding the right wallets first and foremost, right? It's doing some on-chain analytics to figure out those wallets. And it's subsequently by putting those wallets in a wallet tracker and get notifications whenever they buy and sell. So over here, we've got the wallets by Crypto Gains that we are tracking. We've got 55 of his wallets. But then at a later point in time, we also see more people buying into the virtual token, the people that tend to deploy much more capital. For example, over here, we've got Kyle Chessy that bought $100,000 worth of the token, and that was at 48 cents. And so here is Kyle Chessy. He's got 137,000 subscribers. And since he bought, the price went up by 220%. We've got 12 of his wallets, and of course not every trade goes like this, but in general, right, I do believe it makes sense to follow the smart money. It is much better to follow the people that tend to make profit compared to simply just picking random tokens in a list. And so I like this approach that much that I made 8 dedicated tutorial videos just on this wallet tracking topic. They are over here. It's how to find various influencer wallets. It's how to track those influencers. And it's also about how to interpret the signals that we get from the tracking. It's all part of the premium membership of this channel that's down below, thebitcoinstrader.com. It's not just wallet tracking that we do. It's also risk mitigation, portfolio diversification, backtesting. There's more than 100 tutorial videos in total in premium. Once we've got a signal, we of course also have to discuss when should we buy, when should we sell. That's why we've got our dedicated chats for the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $165 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, in case you don't learn anything, just message me within the first 7 days and I will refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. Now let's say the Tron price discovery is not natural and it's all manipulation by the centralized exchanges and by market makers. There isn't actually that much volume going through TRX. What could still be the potential upper limit for Tron? Let's just have a look at the market cap one more time. It's climbing from one high to the next, and it does look different to the price chart, right? Because Tron does have a bit of token inflation. With its current 22 billion, it's roughly 1/4 of the market cap of Solana, despite the total value locked on chain being similar and despite the trading volume only being 0.3% of Solana's. Is Tron going to beat Solana in market cap? I doubt it. And so a TRX at $1, I believe, wouldn't even get pulled off by the market manipulators. We are not going to see a 4x in Tron, but could we see Tron again at 10 cents? I believe that's very much possible. And so that's then the problem, right? When we have an asset that's clearly manipulated, we still have to see that manipulation within some bounds. And if we don't have any upside anymore, if we can't triple or quadruple from here, but we can easily drop by 60-70%, then why buy Tron? Yes, the price is currently not that inflated. Yes, there is not a lot of leverage in the market. The perpetual futures trading volume was only 159 million in the last 24 hours. That's not much, but just buying Tron in the hope of another short squeeze, I'm not sure if that's worth it. The best is probably to stay away and to buy tokens where we actually see organic growth, where we see real price discovery on the market, where we see a lot of retail investors buying in, where we potentially also see the whales accumulating. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in premium. Cheers.